Welcome back. Manchester United have won 3-2 out in Cyprus, which means that Group E looks like this. Manchester United are in second place with 6 points. Real Sociedad beat 10-man Sheriff by 2-0 tonight. David Silva was on the score sheet for the Spanish side, meaning that they stay top of the group with 9 points. They've got a 100% record, winning all 3 of their matches. And Omonia remain bottom of the table without any points from their first 3 games. But in the end, Manchester United managed to turn things around. It's kind of strange, really, when we sit here and look back at half-time, where we were all a bit shocked that Manchester United were trailing by 1-0 against Omonia. And now they've gone and turned the game around and won 3-2.
Yeah, we always confident they would come back into the game. They had plenty of chances in that first half an hour, and you always felt they'd come back and score a goals and get the win. Look, it wasn't a convincing win, which you'd expect, and give them only a credit for that. No, they created some chances themselves, defended well, the keeper was really good. So, but the only thing to come out of tonight is they've won the game. They
won the game, and at the time when they went 1-0 down in the first half, Owen, they'd actually had all of the shots in the game. Omonia scored with their first shot of the match, and it was Karim Ansarifid who scored for them, but it came from a Manchester United free kick. How did they let this happen?
Well, Erik will be really annoyed because the ball can't end up back all the way in the counter-attack, you know. Jadon can't play it back into Malacia. They can't get caught, gets it underneath his feet, and as Scholes said, you know, credit, you know, they counter-attack, and it's a brilliant finish. That was virtually their first attack. You know, United should have been up by 1 or 2 at least. But that's a decision where you can't get caught in possession there, Jules. You just can't. You got to clip it over the top. You got to go back to the keeper. But they don't have the numbers back. Christian Eriksen's the only one really running back with any intent. I don't know how that's possible, considering he's the only one. There should be more bodies in there. But it was a fantastic finish against the run of play, you'd have to say.
Yeah, it's a really good finish, as Owen said. It's probably the only area of the goal where he could actually do it, but there's so many things wrong with that. The organisation was poor. Sancho going backwards when he's at the edge of his box, you'd expect a little bit more from him, and Malacia's bad touch. And then the reaction of Sancho as well, he starts to walk back, and like, as Owen said, Eriksen sprints back, Marta sprints back, but ultimately they can't stop the goal.
Lots of questions probably would have been asked at half-time. What do you think Erik ten Hag would have said to the players?
Well, he made 2 subs straight away, and he took Jadon Sancho off, and he took Malacia off. Basically, what he's saying was, that was your guys' goal. And he's making a point to the team. And, you know, sometimes you have to be consequent, you know. Sir Alex was with us at times, and I think that, you know, that goal, I think, epitomised the fact he wasn't happy. He made some changes, and they had a huge impact on the game. Marcus Rashford was by far the best player on the pitch when he came on. Had a huge impact. Martial scored again. So I think in that sense, you know, the manager deserves a lot of credit for making subs, making big call at half-time.
Yeah, and it didn't take long in that second half for Marcus Rashford to get the equaliser. But what about the ball from Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah, great pass. I'm not sure what he's doing so deep, but it's a fantastic pass. We know he's capable of that. And as Owen said, Marcus was as lively as I've seen him. It actually wasn't a great first touch, and then he ends up coming back. Cristiano, I think, makes a brilliant run for him, which creates a space. And too often you see Marcus, when he gets in that position, he tries to burst the ball, he tries to absolutely burst the net. And for this one occasion, it's a nice, cute side foot finish, and he's shown a little bit of composure that he probably hasn't done in the past. Credit
to Erik ten Hag for the substitutes as well, though. And the last 5 goals scored by Manchester United have all been scored by substitutes.
Well, they have really good options. You know, they have a big group of players to pick from. And it's nice to see, actually, Marcus, such a great athlete, you know, running in behind, making a forward run. When you have guys like Bruno, you had that with Scholes, you know, just make a run, he'll find you. You know, and it's a good run from Marcus, and it's a fantastic ball from Bruno Fernandes. So I think in that sense, it's nice to see not everybody coming short, get it into feet, running behind, because guys like Bruno and Scholes, they'll find you.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford had a good night. 2 goals and an assist involved in all 3 of Manchester United goals tonight. Let's hear from him now. He's with Danny Jameson.
Marcus, maybe a little more difficult than you would have wanted tonight, but is that just a case of job done?
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, job done, but we would have liked to have played better. I wouldn't say that we defended bad. I just think it was just mistakes, and, you know, mistakes happen in football, so we have to move on. But, you know, the least mistakes that we can make, the better for us.
Given the way that the first half went, what did the manager say to you at half-time?
I think you know, the first 35 minutes until they scored, we was playing well. We had a good movement. we could have probably just got in behind them a little bit more and had a bigger threat on the goal. But I thought we played well, watching in the first half. And then when he made the subs, he just wanted us to be, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit take more chances going forward, and just try and score goals. When you're 1-0 behind, that's what we need to do. So it was positive. It was good at half time. We made positive changes and got back into the game.
So you came on at half time, playing off the left, scored twice. I think that's all of your goals this season. You've come playing off the left-hand side. Do you feel more comfortable there? Do you feel that's your best position?
I think I can play both. I think probably left side's a bit more natural for me. But I enjoy doing both positions and just helping the team. I think that's what's important, and we have a lot of players in the squad that can play in a few different positions as well. So it's a big positive to have. And if we've got injuries and stuff like that, you never know what's going to happen, and you have to do your best to play in whatever position is needed.
The substitutes really made a difference. Anthony Martial, I think, scored with his first touch. When he's playing the way he is, he's still rebuilding his fitness. How good can he be? How useful will he be for the rest of the season?
He's a massive player for us. He has been for a long time, and when he's happy and when he's at it, is an unbelievable player, and I've always enjoyed playing with him. It was nice to link up with him today to score his goal, and we'll be looking to do that more and more. So I think it's good for him. We've both been injured. He's been injured a little bit longer than me, so it's good for him to get minutes. And then for the second game in a row, he's come on and scored goals and made a good impact.
Obviously, after Sunday, maybe talk of trying to rebuild the confidence that may have been knocked a little bit with that result. Do you think this is the first step, just stacking these kind of results?
Yeah, I think any games, the next opportunity to do better than your last game, and it was massively needed after the weekend. To come in difficult circumstances, it's a positive result for us. Like I said, we just need to tidy up the mistakes, and we'll be fine.
Well done tonight. Thank you.
For him, and he talks about that link up with Anthony Martial, both of them coming on as substitutes. How effective could that partnership prove to be this season for United?
Well, yeah, you'd like to think so. We know both lads are really talented. They're quick, they can finish, they can go either way. You'd like to see a bit more often from them, I suppose, a bit more consistency. But the quality's there. They're capable of doing a lot more for the team. I think there's a lot of goals in this Manchester United team. I do worry what's behind it. I think they're far too open at times, especially against a team tonight who, you wouldn't expect to score 2 goals against them. But every time they went forward, United looked open. I think they've got to try and get that midfield partnership, or the 2 or 3 in there right. I think Casemiro brings a lot of control, a lot of composure to the midfield, but he needs legs around him. He had that at Real Madrid. If he's going to play on Sunday at Everton, he needs that around him to try and protect that back four.
Well, Rashford mentioned that he thought that 2 goals that they conceded were down to individual mistakes rather than poor defending all over the pitch. Do you echo that?
Well, the first goal, definitely. That's why the manager made the 2 subs. Basically what he's saying is the 2 guys that made the mistake, he took them off. I think they have made some mistakes this season. And with Scholes, that wasn't technically a great side. They didn't have much of the ball. They didn't keep it really well, but they still managed to score a couple of goals. So I think in that sense, if off the back of conceding 6 against Man City, 8-2 is not fantastic. And Everton are in a decent run of form. So they need to tidy up defensively. I'm with Scholes. I think they'll always score goals, United. They've got so many good attacking players. But the problem is they're just conceding a little bit too much.
Well, let's take a look at Anthony Martial's goal, because we saw the link-up between Rashford and Martial for this one. It was a lovely little assist from Rashford, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Look, he was brilliant when he came on. He was lively, he was doing everything, running in behind. And again, a lovely little flick there. And it's the kind of finish you expect from Martial. Look, the lad's got real ability. He's been quiet for a year, 18 months now. And we know, I think every United fan and whoever's watched United, this lad has got real talent. We're not sure what's happened to him. Maybe injuries, confidence-wise, maybe not being happy. I don't know. But the lad has got ability. We just need to see it more often. He came on Sunday, obviously scored them 2 goals. And there's potential for this lad to score a lot of goals for Man United. I just hope he can take his chance then.
It's interesting because we talked before the game about the fact that Erik Ten Hag didn't bring Cristiano Ronaldo on in the derby when they were 4-0 down. He brought Martial on. he got his goals. How much confidence would that have given him, despite the result, to be able to come onto the pitch tonight and do what he did?
Yeah, I think he's the type of player that needs confidence, because I think when he has it, he's a handful. He's a proper player, and I think he's good when he's always on the move. You know, when he's running forward, I think he's really good. I thought Martinez played some great balls into the centre forwards quicker, so they're able to get it in turn and run at people. Marcus looks great doing that. Martial looks great doing that. I think when they have their back to the game, you know, when they have to be almost like a wall player. I don't think either of them like that, Scholes. He did that. They kind of want to be on the move and running at people, and they're very, very good.
Manchester United are 1-0 behind to a side fourth in the Cypriot League. Can you quite believe it, Paul?
No, not really. Look, for 30-35 minutes, it was the game we all expected, keeping possession, creating chances. And then for the last 10 minutes of the half, the Cypriot team really took control, obviously scored a goal, which we'll have a good look at. Plenty of things wrong with that, and look, United have been made to pay for missing a lot of really good chances.
Omonia scoring with their first shot on goal through Karim and Sarafat, the Iranian forward. But how on earth have Manchester United allowed that to happen, Owen?
Well, it makes it worse that it was United's free kick. You know, Jadon really, he's just got to find a way to get it in the box. Plays it back to Malacia, and he gets caught. You can't get caught there. And look, it's a quick transition. It's a good transition. But from your own set piece, I mean, it's a brilliant finish. I have to say, it's a fantastic finish. But there's no way. Eriksen's the only one that senses the danger. He's the only one running back, you know, at speed. In the end, he gets back in, but he's outnumbered. They don't track the runner. Great touch and a fantastic finish. But from your own set piece, that just can't happen.
Yeah, look, Sancho, right from the off, going backwards to Malacia, who's on his own, organisation-wise, you can also question, you normally have a couple back. So going backwards there was a big mistake, leaving Malacia on his own. He gets caught in possession, his technique wasn't great, and you've got to give the lad credit, as Owen said, it's a wonderful finish.
Omonia grew in confidence after that and had a lot more of the ball than we saw prior to that, because as you mentioned, Paul, up until that goal, it was all United with the chances. Why weren't they able to find the back of the net?
Good question. A bit of a combination of good goalkeeping, especially good defending. United being sloppy. I think this is some really good chances that they created. I don't think Cristiano can do much better than that. It's really good centre forward play, good first touch, and the smash it was a left foot. It's a really good save, and I think the lad actually heads the crossbar here.
He does.
And I think he gives a foul for indirect free kick. But look, there are plenty of chances. What you'd expect in that first half an hour. And Anthony, he's not done a lot in the game. He hasn't really beat his man as often as you'd like him to. Great effort, but a great save on him.
Yeah, I mean, they've had enough chances. They should have been up,
yeah.
Jules. They should have been up in the game. And you get punished. You know, there's no way they should be down in that game. They should have been up, and they concede a sloppy goal. I'm sure Erik will be disappointed, but they have plenty of time to go and fix it and get a couple goals, or if not more.
Will they feel like they can turn things around in the second half? I mean, this is a really strong Manchester United team that are behind. Yeah,
they'll have every confidence. Look, they're a little bit of disappointment from the weekend still, possibly, but no, they've had so many chances in that first half now that you'd expect them to create more chances and you'd expect them to eventually score a couple of goals.
Erik, so we managed to get the win. What's your thoughts on the game?
Good start of the game. First 30 minutes, really well done. A couple of chances against a compact opponent. It's not that easy. But then we make a mistake, and then 10 minutes we're really bad. And it cannot happen. We have to take the responsibility by first not giving goals in such manner away, and then deal with it. Stay composed, keep doing, stick to the plan, keep positioning, keep in position, in your position, let the ball pass them around and not do stupid things like we did.
Now, first time facing Omonia, they seemed like tougher opposition than expected. The atmosphere really helped them, do you think?
Yeah, but you get them alive when you make a mistake like we did in the first half. When you get the first goal, life is much more easier.
Now, the squad as a whole is extremely strong, but the instant impact from the substitutes was incredible to see. Rashford scoring within 7 minutes, Martial scoring seconds when they came on. It's really pleasing to see from your squad, isn't it?
Yes. First of all, we need more runs. so more movement behind. That was the first thing, and the second was the subs. They had really an impact on the score, so I'm really happy, and for Marcus and for Anton, that they came in. But also Luke, I have to say, they had an impact on the game. The tempo got high, there were more movement, and much more effectiveness to the goal.
It's a very valuable win, this in the Europa League, isn't it?
Yeah, clear. They give us a better position in the group. We have to win this group, that's also clear.
Now we face Everton on Sunday. Now, between now and then, what do you want to see the team working hard in training?
We don't have so many moments in training, but it's clear. There was the warm-up. Sunday we have to be ready for a fight, for a battle there, and it's about intensity. That has to be much more, let's say, that has to be really improved when you compare that with last Sunday in City. I think that was the main lesson for us. We have to bring a much more intensity in the games if we want to win games like games against City. But Everton is the same. That is going to be a really hard battle, but we have to be ready for that.
And finally, 1,100 away fans here tonight, a win for them. You're hoping to get another win for the next set of away fans on Sunday, aren't you?
Yeah, clear. We always get a big support, and as you say, 1,100 fans are supporting us here, coming over from UK. A lot of fans here in Cyprus. From Manchester United, you want to give them the best performance, and there were stages in the game. I think they have seen a good Manchester United, but also some development to make. If we learn again such lessons, then we can be successful, and that is what we have to do.
Well, thank you very much and well done on the win.
Thank you.
Diogo, so a valuable win. How did you find it?
Oh, we knew that we would come to a tough place to play. I think we started well first 35 minutes, really good. Then after we conceded a goal, I think we could take a little bit more control. We conceded some counter-attacks and some especially corners that we should have avoided. But I think at the end, good reaction second half. We came with intensity. We tried to play as well. Very good. The subs made a difference today. But in the end, 3 points. That's what matters. That's why we came here, and we go happy to home.
Now, it's the first time that we came up against Omonia. They became tougher opponents, really. How did you find them?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that with the fans, good atmosphere as well for them. They would get motivated to play against us as well. We had to match at least the desire, the passion to win the game, and I think the overall we did it, but we could control a little bit more the game. We had some stages in the game that we could have controlled a little bit more, especially towards the end. But I think we fight until the end for the 3 points, and it's well deserved for us.
Now, you touched on the substitutes before. Now, instant impact, like you said, and it's great to know that you can rely on your bench, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we want to build long term is the squad. We are not 11 players. We have a lot more quality on the bench, and this shows to the manager that they want to play as well, which I think is perfect for us. We want more of that. We want more of this. It will give us more as a team, and for the future, I think it will benefit us.
Thank you very much, and well done.
Career goal tonight, Anthony Martial as well, so a bit of a milestone for him. You talked about the fact that there were mistakes for the goals conceded, and Omonia came close when the game was at 2-1 to equalising through Bruno. And if there was anyone who you'd expect to put this away in the Cypriot team, it would be him, because he's their top scorer.
Yeah,
and
he played well as well. Again, it's just so easy. United just looks so easy to break through and onto the back four. I don't think one-on-one defensive they're good enough, and he should score really. He'll be looking to try and lift it over the goalkeeper there, and just doesn't get enough on the ball. And if they get to 2-2, you never know, it could have gone either way, because again they scored after that as well. So United were, as much as they created chances at the other end, they were a little bit lucky as well. Yeah, well, we thought that at 3-1, Marcus Rashford's goal meant it was game over. He's now equalled his tally for the whole of last season, scoring 5 goals in his first 8 appearances in this campaign. He only scored 5 in 32 all of last season, albeit a lot of those were as a substitute. But at this point, we thought game over.
But you know what? They linked up really well, Marcus and Cristiano. Marcus is great running with the ball, and it's a really, actually good run from Cristiano. And it's nice to see them linking up. Oftentimes we see them both having shots and taking shots. I think they can link up together with Martial. That could be That could be a great partnership, you know, with Martial and Marcus and maybe Cristiano through the middle, because they can play wide. But it's nice to see Marcus being really positive, because I think when Marcus runs with the ball, he's actually almost impossible to play against. He's quick and he's strong. He's a good striker of the ball. So with Martial and Cristiano, I'm a Scholes. I think there's options there to be positive about.
Could you see that as the front three going forward?
I can on Sunday, yeah. I think the impression that the two subs have made tonight with Cristiano as well. You know, there are a lot of games Cristiano will be able to play, and I think Everton could be one of them. It's not a massive pitch. You won't have to be sprinting out everywhere, working the channels. When he's got two wide lads who have got goals in them, I think the two wide lads that played today, Sancho and Anthony, look, I know Anthony scored on Sunday, but I think Martial and Rashford would be more dangerous. I think they've got a little bit more about them. They can go either way. They're quick. Defence will be frightened to death of them. And Cristiano, okay, he had a lot of chances tonight. It didn't quite work for him. It wasn't quite his night. But that won't happen for long with Cristiano. If he gets chances Sunday, he will score.
Well, as positive as they were going forward, as we've spoken about, they then did get another goal back in the game, and it was a first senior goal for Panagiotou for Omonia. At this point, are you in any kind of concern that Man United are not going to come away with the victory, Owen?
Well, you just can't turn over the ball, Jules, in a game like that, in that position. You know, sloppy. It's a fantastic finish, by the way. Both goals were exceptional finishes. But you see, I mean, I think that's what Marcus alluded to, the mistakes. You know, turnover possession in midfield. In Europe, Jules, that's almost a guarantee. That's a goal. You turn over it in there, as they did, and you get punished. So I think that's what you got to tidy up, those mistakes which you don't need. But you have to credit the two finishes. They were very, very good.
OK, well, lots of credit going to Omonia. Let's hear from their manager now, Neil Lennon.
Neil, came very close, but it just wasn't to be tonight.
Yeah, listen, we rode our luck a lot of times, Danny, so, I mean, it was a great game, you know, we kept ourselves in the game, whether it be good goalkeeping or United missing good chances, and to score 2 goals against them was probably more than I could have imagined. I didn't think, until we scored, we believed in ourselves, really, and then it gave us something to hold on to. They got 2 quick-fire goals, but we had chances at 2-1 to get level. The third goal has killed us, but, you know, on the balance of play, United thoroughly deserved the win.
I was going to say that the first goal taken in the lead did seem to give your side belief. Is that something that you can take into next week at Old Trafford as well?
It's going to be a different game again, you know, but listen, they've seen them up close and they know how good they are and they know maybe what their weaknesses are. You know, it's a hell of a long shot to get something out of the game, but we'll go there and give everything we've got. It was a big night for us, and some of the players stood up really well.
Look, you said yesterday that after both of the group games so far, you'd had regrets. Do you have regrets tonight?
I think some of them will, yeah. I think some of them will. The second goal, you know, we're too open from right centre-half to middle centre-half. And that was at a crucial point of the game. And then Bruno misses a great chance with the lob to get us back in it. And, you know, when you're feeding off scraps at times, you've got to make them count. But, yeah, I mean, there's things we could do better in terms of ball retention at times, but listen, the gulf between the two teams is huge, and we know that, but we made a game of it, and to get 2 goals, like I say, is fantastic.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Danny. Cheers.
He's pleased with what he's seen out there, despite the defeat in the end, Owen. But how much confidence will the players take from scoring 2 goals against Manchester United and heading into Old Trafford next week?
Yeah, I thought he nailed that, actually, because he thought they didn't really believe until they scored. And then once they scored, they started to get a bit more belief. Scholes, you mentioned half-time, they started to have a bit more possession, be a bit more positive. And I think, in a way, of course, they would have preferred to get a result. But I think those players would be delighted the fact they scored a couple of goals, had another good opportunity, which they could have taken with the lob, and caused United problems, really, without much of the ball. You know, Neil mentioned it there. You know, United dominated the game and deserved to win. But they posed a threat, and I think he'd be happy with that.
Erik, congratulations. Got the result that you wanted this evening. What did you think of your side's performance?
I think we started well. Couple of chances. And then unnecessary down. Mistake cannot happen. We have to take responsibility there. But then a really bad 10 minutes. And we have to learn from that.
You talked about dealing with the atmosphere and the ambience. Conceding in that manner when you did, after having such a good first 35 minutes, is that the worst possible time to do it? It gave this crowd a real lift.
Yeah, so it is. You let the crowd get alive, and you have to avoid that, and we know that all.
The response that you got after half-time seemed really impressive. What did you say to them at half-time in the dressing room? What did you try to change?
Yeah, some couple of things, especially more runs. And we were too static. And we have to make the opposite movement to get behind. And that's why also we make 2 subs in that time, and they had really an impact.
Is that what you were looking for, and particularly from Marcus? He seemed very sharp when he came on.
Yeah, I think, and Luke and Marcus, definitely. But also Anthony Martial, of course, with his 2-1. I think the subs had really an impact today. And that is really good. That makes the team stronger.
And on Anthony Martial, obviously he's working his way back from fitness, but if he's playing the way that he did when he came on Sunday and also this evening, how important a piece could he be for you?
We have already seen that in pre-season. It was a really big disappointment for this team, for me, when he got injured in the last 10 minutes against Atletico Madrid. So we missed him in the first couple of weeks, and that also had an effect on our team performance.
Bruno Fernandes talked about rebuilding the confidence maybe after Sunday, after what that may have done to the players. Results like tonight, is that the first step, stacking these kind of results?
Yeah, definitely. But it has to be only warm-up. Sunday, we have to, especially there, we have to react. We have to give the best performance we have, and we have to prepare that now.
Appreciate your time. Well done tonight.
They got the win tonight, but all the attention now does turn to that game at Goodison Park on Sunday, doesn't it? Have you seen enough from the performance tonight to take confidence into that game?
No. I'll be honest, I haven't. I think he was right there what he said about the wingers being static. I think Sancho never really runs in behind. He's a player who needs somebody to play with. He needs a fast left-back if he's playing on the left-hand side. He needs a centre-forward to link with. He hasn't really got that. I think Anthony on the other side as well doesn't run in behind. He seems to be a little bit of a one-trick pony. He's always cutting inside, passing back to the full-back or having a shot, and he needs to develop a little bit more. It's still early days for him, we know that. But I'd be more worried about the midfield area. I think they look too open at times tonight. I think Casemiro coming in, yes, he brings control, he brings composure, hasn't really got the legs to play there on his own. I think on Sunday, if Casemiro plays, they'll have to play someone with him, someone right next to him, whether that's a Fred or a McTominay. He's played with Fred with Brazil. I think they've got a really good record together. Yeah. We were talking before. Because the back four, for me, need protecting. I think once you get at them 2 centre-halves and the full-backs, Malassi came off at half-time. That may be a sign that Luke Shaw will play on Sunday. I think they're vulnerable. I don't think they're great one-on-one defending. I think Everton are a much better team than we've seen the opposition tonight. And if they get them type of chances, you'd expect them to score.
Who do you think should start in midfield on Sunday then, Owen? Because after the Derby defeat, all the questions were being asked about why you've got a player worth that amount of money sat on the bench in Casemiro. But after what you've seen tonight, has he done enough to start Sunday?
Well, you've got to give him a chance to play, Jules. You know, you spend a lot of money on him. The guy's won 5 Champions Leagues. You know, he can be a great asset to the team. So I'm sure he'll get a run of games. I think he needs it. And I'm sure he'll play on the weekend. The question is, it's not who plays in the midfield. It's, you know, what are your front 3? Depending on what your front 3 are, then you need to dictate your midfield. If you go with Martial, Ronaldo and Rashford, then I think you need 2 defensive midfield players in there with one, whether Eriksen or Bruno. If you play, depending on who the front 3 are, then maybe you can play 2 number 10s. You know, Scholes made the point. They should dominate the ball at Goodison, you know, because they're better than Everton in possession. So I think he's got options now, and I think having Martial back gives him something different. I could see that front 3 that finished the game. I could see them starting the game, but I'm sure Casemiro will play. Just the question is who plays with him.
Who's your front 3 for Sunday?
Yeah, I'd go with that front 3. I think at the minute they'll probably be the most dangerous. As I said, there's games for Cristiano. I think Sunday could be a game for him. Martial and Rashford, I think they picked themselves after tonight. They made such a difference in that second half. Again, I keep coming back to the midfield area. I think that's the big question. I think if Casemiro plays, he definitely needs somebody next to him. Look, he played for Real Madrid for so many years. He played in the 3 all the time. 2 brilliant players next to him. Now, he needs help. He hasn't got the greatest of legs, but what he does bring is control, composure, good passing, nice relaxed nature about him, almost as a captain-type character. He'll need Fred or McTominay with him. He'll need one of them with him. The interesting thing might be Bruno and Eriksen, really, what he does with that, because he brought Bruno off after, I don't know how long, after an hour. He's been a little bit ineffective over the last 3 or 4 weeks, so maybe it'll be Casemiro, Fred, McTominay and possibly Erik's in it. Might be a time for Bruno to have a little bit of a rest on Sunday.